Well, it is mid-September. I hope everybody's had a busy, profitable summer. But as we get towards the end of summer, we start seeing less no-cools coming in. Get a chance to slow down, catch our breath, maybe take a little time off, and reflect on the busy season and maybe some lessons learned. I'd like for you to think about how many calls your people ran in a typical average day during busy season. Was it 8, 9 calls or more? What effect do you think that has on company morale? Do you feel like you're able to do a quality job when you're stacking jobs on top of each other like that? Would it be better if you were able to make the same amount of money or more, but run 2, 3, or at the most 4 calls in a day? And I think that's the goal that we need to strive for, is to be able to run less calls and make more money. It makes sense, right? Our people are spending less time behind a steering wheel and more time building. Our office people have less paperwork and jobs to process, less of a chance to make mistakes. And there are less phone calls, emails, problems that management has to deal with on a daily basis. So how do we make that happen? Well, there's several challenges. For one, there's a certain volume of calls that come in. And maybe some businesses, a lot of that volume comes from customers that are under a service agreement, and there's an expectation or a contract that bounds you to having to respond to that call within a certain period of time. So you can't put it off. You can't turn it down. But I think for other companies, they take on that many calls because they're afraid not to. You realize that this is your busy season. You have to make hay while the sun's out, and you're afraid that if you don't take this many calls, then you're going to regret it later on when things slow down. But what ends up happening is you trade quality for quantity. And you're just telling your technicians, and I say this from personal experience, look, we got a bunch of calls in the books today. I need you guys to hurry up through each call, get them up and going, move on to the next one. And that, a lot of times, is the nature of demand work. But it doesn't have to be. And I think we as an industry should make it a goal to get the amount of calls that we ask our technicians to run in a typical day down to 2, 3, at the most 4. And some of you may think, well, that's absolutely crazy. There's no way we're going to make enough money running just a few calls a day to stay in business. And you're right. Under your current model, you probably wouldn't. If all you're doing is running out, diagnosing a back capacitor, throwing on a capacitor, low on gas, add gas, clean a coil, you're walking away for $300 per call, then yeah, 2, 3, 4 calls are probably not going to hit your numbers. But what if you were able to earn more revenue ethically per call? Well, there's only 2 ways that you can earn more revenue, ethically and unethically. We know what unethically sounds like. People are condemning parts and systems that don't have anything wrong with them, or they're recommending accessories and add-ons that are not really going to move the needle in the direction that they claim it's going to move. And then there are ethical sales. What does that mean? Well, we're actually legitimately finding problems and opportunities to improve the performance of the system, the health of the house, the energy efficiency of the entire system in an ethical way. And we're able to back that up with real numbers. And I'm talking about this because I currently am driving back from Ohio for Measure Quick training. And I come back with a very different perspective on what it means to run an HVAC company. And this is not theoretical. I've talked to several owners that are using Measure Quick as it's intended, and they're doing exactly that. Their people are running the average 3 calls a day, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. They're spending more time on those jobs. They're finding more legitimate, ethical recommendations and options to make, and they're selling them. And their people are happier. They feel more confident. They have better mental health. They're retaining employees. They're able to compensate employees better. They're running a better business. They're not running around with old beat up trucks. They're investing in training their employees. They're doing everything that your wish list as an owner, or if you're a technician, what you wish that the ultimate company would operate like. They're doing it. And the common denominator is that they're using MeasureQuick. They're spending less time behind the steering wheel and more time in front of the customers, building relationships. They're finding ethical sales opportunities. And so if you're running away from something as a business owner, if you're running away from callbacks, from bad installs that are just eating up your service department's profitability, or if you're running away from burnout on technicians, you're rolling through them, they're quitting after one summer, you're having to train new technicians every single summer just to lose them again. If you're running away from those things, I think making a commitment towards full system diagnostics using MeasureQuick is going to be the answer. Maybe you're running towards things. Maybe you want your company to operate more profitably. You want your people to be happier. You want your customers to be happier. You want to be able to grow your company at a sustainable pace. You want to be able to hire people and get them out in the field quickly. If that's what you're running towards. Those are also solutions that MeasureQuick offers. So whether you're running away from something or running towards something, if you're taking stock of your summer and you have a list of things that you want to make improvements on, let's have a conversation, you and me, what it takes to be able to implement MeasureQuick in a small business. It's not theoretical, it's things that have actually worked. And I also know what doesn't work, because if it doesn't work, I probably tried it as an owner. So if you're interested in that, let's talk.